Hey guys, it's Mr. Zero. In this video, we're going to talk a little bit about what the absolute value of an equation means, or just an absolute value means in general. So if we look at the hook here, the idea is if you're seeing a number line at a point, let's say -3, you look in one direction, forget about that, towards 0. How far are you from the 0? So if we're here at -3, how far are we from the 0? We're 1, 2, 3 spaces from 0. You think about this a lot about like sea level. If you have something that's 20 feet below the sea level, or if you dive down 20 feet, you're still going 20 feet. So the value of your distance of your dive is 20 feet. I don't know if any of you guys ever know where Highland Lake is. It's almost within viewing distance of the high school. But I grew up there, and some people say it's about 30 feet down to the bottom of the lake. And so you're talking 30 feet. That's an absolute value. The absolute value of the distance from the water to the bottom of the lake is 30. So you could say it's -30, you could say it's 30 down, but the value is just 30. So when you see an absolute value, the absolute value of like 5, what is the value of 5? Well, it's just 5. What's the absolute value of -5? So how big is -5? Well, if we're just talking about the number itself, that has a value of 5. Whether that means to the left, to the right, up, down, negative money or positive money, still the value of that number is 5. So absolute value of a number, whether it's positive or negative, is a positive number. So an easy way of thinking about this, the way I've talked about it so far is really how you should think about it, but a real easy way is it just makes everything positive. It makes a positive positive, and it makes a negative positive. The only thing that's a little tricky is, what if you have a negative absolute value of -3? This is the only one that people seem to get wrong. Absolute value really is parentheses. Or you could put parentheses inside an absolute value if you'd like. But basically you have to do the absolute value first. There's no like distributing a negative into an absolute value. You treat the absolute value like parentheses. The absolute value of -3 is 3, and then we have this negative tagged out front. It's not a negative times a negative makes a positive 3. Okay, so you have to be careful about that. This one step seems to cause the most trouble. Alright, so let's try a couple examples. So we want to evaluate each expression. A is 6, B is 2/3, and C is 2. So everyone's always so happy when they see the fraction. So all we're going to do is we're going to plug everything in. So 2 is where the C is, A squared. Now, you feel free to write this as 6 squared minus 3B. It's 3 times 2/3. I personally probably would have just written down 36 right away, because A squared minus 3B, between the squared and subtraction, I'm going to square first. But straight up, plug everything in, and now treat this like parentheses. We do everything inside the parentheses first. So it's 2 absolute value of 6 squared is 36 minus, now 3 times 2/3. Remember, this is 3 over 1, and now I can cancel out these 3's. You got 3 on top, you got 3 on bottom, I can make them go away. So it's just minus 2. So it's 2 absolute value of, and don't distribute it. This is not distributed property. Same thing here. Do the absolute value first, and then multiply. 36 minus 2 would be 34. So absolute value of 34 is 34. So it's 2 times 34, which you could have skipped that step if you want, and so that's 60. Alright, let's try the next one here. That's the main part of the whole thing. Alright, B is 2/3 plus the absolute value of C, which is 2, minus A, which is 6. So we've got 2/3 plus the absolute value. 2 minus 6 would be -4. And that's where the absolute value comes in. So the absolute value of -4 is 4. So we get 2/3 plus 4. And now we get our favorite thing. We have a fraction plus a whole number. So what do? We can either put this over 1 and do it by hand. So you come to the common denominator, 1 and 3. The common denominator is 3. So 2/3 plus, well, 4 times 3 is 12. So 2/3 plus 12/3 is 14/3. I'll show you if you don't remember how to do that on your calculator here in about 2 seconds. Okay, so I know it kind of disappeared over there when I went to this screen. So our goal was we had to do 2/3 plus 4. So that's all I'm going to do. 2 divided by 3, so that's my 2/3. And then plus 4. Hit enter, and you get this craziness. And if you want to turn that into a fraction, you hit math, and then go to number 1, which is fraction, so enter. And don't forget to enter it one more time, and you get your 14/3. So 2/3 is again 2 divided by 3. That's your 2/3 plus 4, and then you're ready to go. So let's do one more example here. We'll do example 4, and I'll leave you with example 3. Here's what to do on your own. Okay, so we have the absolute value of negative c. So we're going to rewrite that in here. Absolute value of negative c. So a negative in c is 2. You can put parentheses around that if you want, but there's nothing else going on. So I'm going to leave it as just negative, and then c is 2. Plus 4, parentheses, negative, a, which is 6. 6, and b, which is 2/3. Now, the uses of parentheses are important and not important at the same time. Sometimes it helps. Between the 6 and the 2/3, it's nice to have the parentheses so you can see them. I didn't put them around the 2. It didn't seem to bother me. If I don't put them at all, this is what it looks like, which at that point you have a little bit of a problem. So as long as you put a dot there, you're okay. But the parentheses implies that you're going to be multiplying. It's not a mixed number. A mixed number of 6 and 2/3 is 6 plus 2/3. This is 6 times 2/3. Let me get rid of that one. That's kind of covering up my thirds. Okay. Anyhow, absolute value of negative 2. What is the value of negative 2? Well, it's 2 plus 4. You got to do what's inside of parentheses first. Now, this is all just multiplication, so I really don't have to multiply the inside of the parentheses. I can multiply in any order whatsoever. But 6 times 2/3 is a whole lot easier than the 4 times any of this stuff. Now, there's only one negative here, and there's no absolute value that goes with this right-hand side. So, since there's only one negative, this answer between all three of these things is going to come out to be negative. Now, what's 6 times 2/3? Now, you can take out your calculator and multiply just how you see it. You put 6 over 1. Now, a couple ways. 3 goes in the 6 twice, so I could cancel out the 3. 3 goes in 3 once. 3 goes in the 6 twice. 2 times 2 is 4. That's one option. Other option. 6 times 2 is 12. 12 divided by 3 is 4. However you get it, I don't care as long as you get it right. So 2 plus, make sure this is not 6 times 4. This is 2 plus 4 times 4. Now, it's not really a plus though. It's 4 times a negative 4, which is a negative 16. So you could go plus a negative 16, but for me, there's only one negative here, so this just becomes a negative 16. But it means the same thing if you weren't sure. So 2 plus a negative 16 is negative 14. It's like you owe 16 bucks and you get $2 back. So you still owe 14. And that's it. Good luck.